All right, Headband Lou from the 202 back to do what he do. It's game time, baby. Now, this game was a different one. This was a weird one, mainly because I lost one of my key assets, one of my key components to my dominance. My man DG, look at him playing for Houston. Got me feeling bad out here. You know what I'm saying? I didn't play the best game, but I played a decent game. So I decided I'm going to use this one to talk a little bit about 2K24. The news cycle should be starting up soon. And before we start getting all the news, all the features, you know what I'm saying, all the examples and samples and gameplay, I decided to talk about a few things I would love to see happen with the MyCAREER story in 2K24. So the first thing, of course, has to be storytelling. Now, I like the fact that they always have your nice little story just on your road to the NBA. But once you get there, it's pretty much done. So I would love to see them start focusing on like 3-level storytelling. Okay, so the first level would be your road to the NBA. So whether it's through college, whether it's through some background story. I know it's cringy at times because they always, create a very convoluted story. I don't mind it if there's some interesting parts in it. But I wouldn't mind seeing first and foremost that little cinematic kind of experience of road to the NBA, right? Each year they try something different, they try something new. You come up, you get a new antagonist to go along and to battle against. And I like that aspect, but I think we can dive a little deeper into it. So the second level of the storytelling would be the rise through the NBA. So yeah, you got your draft opponent, all right? You got your antagonist who came up into the league with you, the guy that you played against in college. Last year, we had Shep who he's better than you, but he's never won anything, and he still ain't winning nothing. Okay, I wouldn't mind seeing a little more details focusing on those rivalries. You know what I'm saying? Go back to the days of like Jackson Ellis, where whenever y'all would match up against each other, there were goals that applied to those specific games. That's a part of the rise through the NBA. And also by adding to that, you can then not only have your draft counterpart that you're challenging and that you're trying to have the better career against, but you can also have other cats who just happen to play your position, who are playing well or playing good, you know what I'm saying, their rise and how it competes against yours. That leads to the third level of the storytelling, which is then, chasing glory and everything. So instead of just having the one rivalry and, you trying to find a way to make a story out of the games that you play against them, or trying to make it so that way you always outperform him, give us something to chase for. So maybe instead of just, try to outscore him, now let's go for something like, if you're a defensive minded player, you know what I'm saying, and you're going up against a defensive minded player and everything like that, who plays the better defense? Or if you're an offensive superstar and he's a defensive superstar, your goal is to keep him from shutting you down. Little things like that just adds to the story, so that way you got little moments in the NBA that occur throughout your career, so that way most people aren't just playing that first year. I know most people, like, they play the park, they play the rec. So I'm not going to focus on those aspects, because the people who play those the heaviest, they know what they really want out of that. So, I would love to see 3 different levels to the storytelling. You know what I'm saying? The cinematic edition of your rise to the NBA, and then your ability to compete at the high level. Maybe even if you're not playing so well, get back into the G League. Bring those kind of gameplay mindsets within it. Gives you a few different opponents, changes the difficulty level as you go. Another aspect I would like to see is next talking about in-game changes. So some of the gameplay changes I would like to see. I thought they did a really good job when it come down to animations. Of course, there's some broken animations. There's always going to be broken animations. But one of the things I would love to see happen is more differentiating styles. Like if you put together a couple of different dunk packages and things like that, you really pretty much got a good package, but you always got them guaranteed dunks that's going to trigger no matter what you're doing. Like, you got to really find the exact scenario to trigger a very specific dunk, if that's a dunk that you're trying to do. And I get it that dunks are truly based on, positioning, where you take off from, and this, that, and the other. But, give you that chance to kind of like study when and where to take off from to trigger specific dunks. Good little in-game learning annex that could be there. Another thing, when it comes down to in-game changes, I would love to see a little bit change with the UI. And I don't really mean like go all the way out and make it extra fancy. I think the UI is pretty good where it's at, nice and simple. But I would like to see options like UI scaling. So I would like to be able to scale down the scoreboard. I would like to be able to scale down my stat board if I want to, so that way I get more screen space. One thing I would like to see personally is to bring back my old turbo camera, just because I love the way that it act whenever I was on the floor. You know what I'm saying? That joint was basically right over the shoulder. You know what I'm saying? It got freaky deaky all day long, and quite frankly, looked like a weekend video. So that was cool. But that's just my own little small thing. Another thing is I would love to see them build on leadership goals. I thought leadership goals was something pretty cool that they added back into the game, that kind of took off from the old gameplay goals from, you know, 2K16, 2K14, things like that. I like leadership goals, but I wouldn't mind seeing them a little more randomized. So like, instead of me just choosing which leadership goals I want to go for, maybe base it on the matchup that I'm going up against and figure out what would be the best way for me to set the tone of the game. Same way when you talk to the coach and he tells you, this is what I want you to go out there and do. It's a couple of things that I think that they can improve on in those aspects and just build on, instead of just, you know, eliminating altogether. I like the idea that they're going to be making side quests optional, certain side quests optional that don't impact your ability to advance in my career, especially some of the more boring ones. You know, like I really want to see them try to go away from the cringy stuff, but you can't really help it too much. You know, 2K is going to always dive in on some of the current trends or some of the current fads to get more people involved in the game. So, you know, like the TikTok dancer that they had in 2K23, you knew that was kind of coming, just because, you know, TikTok dancers were and still are, you know, taking off left and right. So I would love to see them kind of dive a little deeper into some good optional quests that are so much more NBA focused and so much more brand focused for your player, giving you more options. I do like that they are leaning in those directions, but there's always more that can be done. Another thing when it comes down to in-game changes, record-breaking moments. Okay, now they added the ability to highlight the fact that you broken a record in the game, and they kept that in there. But it's always some weird things that are happening. So like they'll call a timeout when you get close to breaking a certain record, or when you break that certain. It's always the simplest things. Like they'll call a timeout after you done got a rebound in the game. Like I got a rebound in this game that got me my triple double, and it's getting me closer to the season record for triple doubles in the season. So, you know, they called a timeout. That slowed the momentum down. I don't want to see things like that. So I want to see them improve how the record breaking goes down. Now let's talk about one of the biggest things I really need to see: front office improvements. Okay, each team has a front office, you know, and don't get me wrong, my Wizards front office is acting just like the Wizards front office of the last couple years. So I mean, it feels accurate. Like every time somebody's doing good, they get rid of them real quick. You know, I mean, we got a new front office that's coming in, making some new changes, and they got a little direction. So I want to see little things in the front office improvement. So like when it comes down to requesting trades or requesting, you know what I'm saying, going after certain players on the trade market, I want to see, you know, a more in-depth talk with the coach. It ain't gotta be nothing extremely fancy or detailed, but when I say a little more in-depth talk with the coach, when I tell a coach, yeah, I want to push to get this player, I want it to be a reason behind it. You know what I'm saying? Like, hey, can we get this guy because this guy is real live out here getting buckets. And then at the same time, look, not everybody on every team get along perfectly. They do the best they can because they play the game together. So they got to do whatever they can to try to get the dub out there. But, you know, I wouldn't mind being that guy that's like, all right, nah, we need to trade away this guy. You know what I'm saying? So let me go talk to the coach. Let me go talk to the GM. Let me go talk to, you know what I'm saying? Let's talk to the owner. Let me get into the front office with these cats, especially if I'm moving on up in the ranks. I want to be able to talk with the team in order to make moves or give my opinion on moves and make it make sense. Like whenever I request a trade, I request for a trade to get a certain player on the team, and we might get that player or we might not. But what they end up doing is they end up trading away one of my best assets that doesn't cost nothing right now, just so that way we can complete a trade. So don't even feel like they're working to get what we're asking for. Instead, they're just trying to complete a trade because I requested to get somebody added to the team. But they didn't chase after that specific someone. They didn't even chase after the person's team. So essentially, we just got whatever they wanted, and they got rid of some of my key assets. Last thing, when it come down to it, is just genuinely whenever new trades happen in the team, I want to see the team focus heavy on letting us know, so I don't go from one game to the next and find out. That's how I found out that a teammate got traded. I wanted to be more like a news wire kind of thing, letting me know as a little ticker. I wouldn't mind meeting with the GM. I wouldn't mind meeting with the team owners and everything like that, just to have an opinion that gives my character a little more level, a little more detail, and showcase that this is why I want us to have this on the team. This is why I want us to be here. So it's like I said, my career, I always think that they do a decent job with the story, but I would love to see them do a little bit more and get a little more heavy on it. Those are just a few of my takeaways as to what I would love to see them improve upon and add to, and just get rid of or change this, that, and the other. I can't wait to see what it's gonna look like when they start dropping this information, seeing what kind of story we're gonna have, what the city's gonna look like, whether it's gonna be bigger, whether it's gonna be smaller. I'm looking forward to it. 2K24 season is about to be in full swing. News about to start dropping so much to a point that we're not gonna be able to keep up with it all. We're starting to see images in game, in-engine images and everything like that. So I'm looking forward to it. But like I said, those are my thoughts and takeaways from what I would love to see in 2K24 based on the amount of 2K23's MyCAREER that I played. And I would love to know what you think down in the comments below, man. Let me know. Hit that like button. Subscribe to the channel if you're new. And I'm going to catch y'all on the next one. Stay safe. Stay blessed. Peace.